Now come to the appendicular skeleton, right? When we talk about the humerus, that is the bone of that forelimb, right? Our humerus starts from here and up to there, clear? Actually, the head of humerus, is fixed with the glenoid cavity. That glenoid cavity is present in the shoulder region, right? That shoulder bone forms the glenoid cavity. So that head of the humerus attached or articulates with the glenoid cavity, right? You can see in that diagram, that is the head of the humerus, right? This is the head of the humerus, clear, which articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula to form the shoulder joint. And due to this joint, that shoulder joint, right, that is the type of the ball and socket joint. Why? Because the joint moves like that within that is 360-degree angle, right? The whole joint move like that. That's why this kind of joint is known as that kind of movement is known as the ball and socket joint. Ball indulge in or articulate with the socket and move like that, clear? So it makes ball and socket joint, right? Here that deltoid tuberosity, right, that is deltoid is the muscle of the shoulder which passes, and there is a depression for that, right? There is a depression for that due to the passing of the deltoid muscle, right? These are the condyles, and this is the coronoid fossa. This is that fossa, that is the coronoid fossa, right, which is present here, that is the coronoid fossa, clear? Where we study the where we put the stethoscope and heard the sound of the brachial artery, right? So these are the condyles, and that is the deltoid tuberosity. In this portion only that question will be asked, right? But you have to know that where it is present in your body. There is no need to memorize all these namings, but you have to know how your bone is and where it is present, right? So just memorize that the head of humerus is articulate with the glenoid cavity of the scapula and form the shoulder joint, and this is the form of ball and socket joint. This is the form of ball and socket joint, or we can say the example of ball and socket joint. Now come to the next one, that is the radius and ulna, clear? Radius and ulna, see that just below the thumb, there is that bone, that is radius and that is ulna, right? That is radius and this is ulna, and just that's why in circulatory system we already studied that just below the thumb radial artery is present. That's why when we calculate the pulse rate, then we calculate like that, clear? So this is radius and this is ulna, right? Ulna is longer and narrower than the radius, clear? And there is the olecranon fossa, there is olecranon process, right? Olecranon process. You just see that diagram. No need to learn more about that, right? Now come to the carpal bones which helps to make the wrist, right? These are the 8 pieces of bone. Our wrist is made up of 8 pieces of bone, right? You can see from that region to that region, right? That portion which is your wrist, it forms by the 8 carpal bones, and these bones arrange in 2 forms, right? Proximal row and distal row, right? You can see in that diagram, right? That is your thumb. Just below the thumb, that is the distal row, that is the proximal, and proximal is related with proximal to what? Proximal to radius and ulnar. That's why we considered that row is the proximal and this is the distal row, right? So when we goes from lateral to medial, lateral that means outside, right? Medial that means inside. So just for you right now, right? But when you enter in the medical college, then you learn exact meaning of the lateral and medial, right? So listen, scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum and pisiform, right? This is the pisiform bone. That means that protrusion, right, of bone, that is the pisiform. So pisiform, triquetrum, lunate, right? Pisiform, triquetrum, lunate and the scaphoid, right? Same as that when we talk about the, so either that is the hamate, capitate, trapezoid and trapezium. So these are the 8 carpal bones. These are the 8 carpal bones, right, which are arranged in 2 rows. Related to that carpal bones, these are the metacarpals. These are the metacarpals and these are the phalanges. You can see in phalanges, right? Number of phalanges, that is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but here that is 1 and 2. So the digital formula of upper limb is 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. Clear? 2, that is thumb. Clear? You can see that. That is the formula of phalanges. Clear? So simply these are the, when you examine in your hand or when you learn with your hand, these are the bones, right? These bones are called the metacarpals. Why it is called metacarpals? Because it is related, it is the continuation form of the carpal bones, right? Now come to the femur, that is the lower limb bone, right? It is also known as, femur is also known as the thigh bone, right? Femur is also known as the thigh bone. Thigh bone, femur. Femur, thigh bone. It is the strongest, heaviest and longest bone, right? It is the strongest, heaviest and longest bone. Actually, this is the longest bone and the head of femur,